Okay, I think we're recording. So happy to see your cute little faces tonight. I wish I was hugging and squeezing you instead of talking to you on a video, but this is second best, right? So yay. Oh, yay. Hi, Andrea. So we are going to dive in, and we don't have a ton to do tonight, but I wanted us to at least come together and do a little bit of training and a little bit of recognition and all that good stuff. So we're going to start out with some recognition for last week, and we do have some fabulous queens, so you will get a virtual tiara. Yes, just pretend you're putting it right on. But it was great to hear from pretty much all of you. So for personal development points, yay, we always start with that because it is so important in staying the course, right? So our personal development queen is Megan. She listened to Prayer Call and $1 Million Message all 5 days, so she has 10 points on that. Rhiannon was close on her heels with 7. So, and then Michelle, Carla, and Ashley also participated last week in calling in and staying plugged in. For faces, our Queenie Weenie was Rhiannon with 6. Way to go. And Megan had 5, Ashley had 3. So way to go on that, ladies. Both Rhiannon and Megan did career chats last week, and Megan was our queen with 2. We could probably do better than that overall, you guys. But I know we are gearing up for a great February. All right, our queen of sales last week was Rhiannon with 318, and Megan with 301, Ashley with 277, and Carla with 245. So way to go on some sales. Almost all, you guys are right around that star sales week number of 300, which is great. Let's keep that going. And then for bookings, we had Rhiannon was the queen there as well with 14 bookings. Ashley has 8. Michelle has 1. Carla has pending. She has a bunch of people scheduled to come over on Sunday, but
pending, yes.
And I know Megan has bookings too, but I don't have numbers for her on that. So I think that's all of our recognition. Way to go, everybody. And if you didn't turn in your numbers, that's okay. You can let me know later, just for accountability. I love to celebrate you. And whether you're beating your own best, or you're just kind of sprinkling it in, or whatever you're doing, just keep track of that so that you can give yourself credit where credit is due. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Rhiannon to tell us what is coming, what is going on, and what's coming up.
Okay, so next week at meeting, we are going to be doing the new products. I'm super excited about that. Friday the 8th, so this Friday, we are having a beauty bar at the studio, $5 per wax, and you pay for your customers. They don't pay for anything. Also bring a snack for that. Register for career conference. As of right now, Kendry is the only one registered. So
do you see my face?
I see your face. And at Career Conference, there is an extra class for Red Jackets. It's called the Emerging Leaders Workshop, and they are training on how to work the next 6 weeks to master Destination Red. So we all want to go on that cruise. So if you're in red or you want to be in red, that's a great thing to strive for. Early ordering is February 10th. So if you were a star or you participated in PCP, you can order the new products on the 10th. If not, you can order them on the 15th. If you finish your star by February 28th, you get an extra perk at the star party. The end of the star quarter is March 15th.
And then there's also March 23rd. So put that on your calendar.
Okay, March 23rd.
No, I mean, you were right about the end of the star quarter, but the star party is on the March 23rd.
I just wanted to write it down.
Yeah.
And then we have a big red jacket party at Jill's on April 12th for new Reds or current Reds who have 2 new qualified team members. And our guest is Sean Key, Everybody
Oh
wants
my
to see
gosh, you guys.
donkey. So earn your red jacket. Have two new qualified team members if you're already in red, so you can go hang out with Jill and Chunky.
Yes. And that's the day after my birthday and Kendry's birthday. So we're going to be, maybe we'll bring cake.
Ooh.
We could
Yeah.
do cake.
And
is
if
fun.
you have suggestions, I'm doing the food, so I'm open to ideas. But it's going to be fancy.
Yay.
I know. I was telling Jill I might make crab cakes. It's going to depend on how many people are coming as to what we can do. But
I will work for food.
I know, right? Yeah, and there will be
I
options.
like
I mean, not everybody eats seafood, but there will be something probably seafood related in the mix. Jill's giving me a good budget, so it's good.
Nice.
Any
Love it.
questions on any of the announcements? You want to make
Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Yes,
I
I
see you.
You
Okay.
look beautiful. I like your cabinets.
Oh, well, thank you.
I love it.
Making dinner.
Well, yes, it's okay to multitask. Just do what you need to do, and you can mute your line if you think you're going to have background noise. If you need to turn on the water or anything like that.
Okay. And that would be done how?
There should be a little microphone button, and if there's no buttons on there, just touch your screen, and there should be a little
Okay.
microphone, and it'll mute it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
All right.
Okay. Well, I am going to quickly as Ashley can, recap the 7 habits that we have had a chance to talk about already. So that Kendry can kind of give you more. So if you guys remember, if you can remember back, because it's been a while since we've done this, habit number 1 is be proactive. So this is the habit that's all about kind of creating your weather, or creating your outlook, being proactive in what you think about and what you talk about, and in what you do. So that is being proactive. And this we talk about so much in Mary Kay about our mindset and what you think about, you bring about, and just what your focus really is. And remember, these first 3 habits are internally focused. So they're thinking about our own personal habits and behaviors. Then habit number 2 is beginning with the end in mind. And this is the habit of vision. This is where we drew the pictures, and we maybe didn't all get the same picture because we didn't know what the end was. So when you begin with the end in mind, you create a vision board. You know what you're looking forward to. You have a goal set, and that goal has a deadline, and then you're breaking it down. So we're beginning, before we start anything, we're beginning with that end in mind. Habit number 3 is putting the first things first. And this is where we watched the video about the big rocks, which is one of my favorite silly little videos. But it's that old Stephen Covey video where you look at your calendar. Well, first you create your dump list. Then you look at your calendar. You schedule in the important things, the big rocks. This is where you're scheduling in your family things. This is where you're being very intentional with your time. So when it comes to your Mary Kay things, you're scheduling in your appointments, you're scheduling in meeting, you are scheduling in your booking time. You're just making sure it's all planned out, because if we don't plan it out, then it's not going to happen. And then I think where we actually ended last time was talking about the emotional bank account, and where this really comes into play with our customers, with our family members, with our spouse, with our sales director and our team members. Woo, sorry about that, guys. And this is where, you have to know each other's currencies. So you have to know what matters to those people in your lives. For our customers, it's giving them good customer service. It's having products on hand so that we can deliver them in a timely manner. I don't know if any of you have seen the Mary Kay video where the girl, there's several different girls. One's in Target. She's like, I think tearing packages open, like, does this look right on me? And then the other one is going through the checkout at like a Nordstrom's or a Clinique counter. And she's like, what do you mean I can't order or I can't earn free product? And the one is like pounding on the doors to get in because they leave on a trip the next day. So we don't ever want anyone that we know to be any one of those people. If we know a woman and she uses skincare or makeup, she should never have to suffer like that unless she wants to, I guess. Sometimes people choose that. But we should always, ask and offer. And I think for me, learning what my kids' currency was very important. Asking them as, I am working towards this cruise, as I'm working towards big goals. Can you guys hear my kitty? Asking them, what is important to you? What do you like to do when you get to spend time with mommy? That kind of a thing, so that I am being intentional with my time that I'm spending with them. And I don't have that mommy guilt when I leave to go to an appointment. They know that they're going to get this time with me. And quite frankly, it's scheduled on, I should probably be at my kitchen table because I could show you guys, but we have a big dry erase board calendar, and those things are scheduled on there. So those, I believe, are the 7 habits that we got through, because the next one is think win-win, and I don't think that we got there yet. So I'm going to mute myself unless anybody has questions. I went kind of fast.
I love it. And I feel like we need so much refreshing on those habits. So out of those that we just recapped, and Ashley, great job in just doing that so rapidly. And we did spend a lot more time on them, of course, I think back in December. And it's not new stuff. It's not, I don't think any of us are listening going, oh, I've never heard that I should prioritize my time. Oh, I've never heard that I should work on my mindset, right? I mean, we hear that all the time, but sometimes just different verbiage, or just, oh yeah, that's really half the time what Wednesday night is all about, or any Mary Kay stuff, like the $1 Million Message or the prayer call, or career conference or whatever. It's a lot of, oh yeah, I needed to hear that again. Oh yeah, I need to work on that a little bit more. And sometimes we get frustrated with ourselves because we think, I should have this figured out. I should be further along. I shouldn't still be struggling with this. I shouldn't fill in the blank. I should or I shouldn't. And the reality is that vision leaks, energy leaks. We've got to get reoriented on a constant and continual basis, which is why I prioritize, recognizing personal development stuff. Because here's the thing. If you want to be in this for the long haul, if you want to be a lifer, we're constantly having to course correct. And it's when we stop doing that, or we don't do it regularly enough, that we get to a point where we're frustrated and we're disappointed and we throw in the towel. It's like the analogy of the fire, where, when a spark or a little ember pops out of the fire, it doesn't take very long for that to be completely cold, right? And so stay in the fire. We are the fire. Right? We are that's why the model of Mary Kay, and that's why the design of Mary Kay, and also why I do my very best to expose you guys to lots of different perspectives from different directors, and even people outside of Mary Kay. I think that's valuable as well, because some things are going to hit you at different times and in different ways. You might have heard the same thing 50 times, and it just was the right time for you to hear it, or the right way for you to hear it, or you related to somebody, or you were just in a different place, or whatever. Hopefully we're always growing. So I am not actually going to continue with the 7 habits tonight. That was my original plan, but I kind of wanted to take things in a little bit different direction. And we're going to come back to that, not tonight, but another time, because it's already 7:20, and I want you guys to have some time to work tonight as well. So I wanted to share a couple of stories with you, and just a couple of thoughts for going forward into February, because let's face it, I don't think any of us are where we want to be on the 6th of February. We had a really great month in our unit in January, so I want to really celebrate that. I hope all of you saw my post that shut the front door. We're the number 8 unit in Kansas. I don't think we've ever been in the top 10, you guys. And right now, not that we're trying to compete with other units, but we're ahead of Christy Anderson, who's been $1 million sales director multiple times. So, you know, and it was fun to see Lacey Bradford is on there as the number 3 unit in Kansas. I know Becky Niemeyer, who lives up north, is I think number 3 in Missouri. I didn't check the rest of the Missouri list. I just saw her post, and I'm just like, oh, you guys, this is so great. They haven't posted the numbers for most improved yet. I don't know why the one report was up and the other one wasn't, but I am confident we're in the top 10 most improved, because we have been. So we might even be like 1, 2, or 3. I mean, that would be awesome. You think we're number 1, Carla? Of course we are. But here's the thing, like we were the number 15 unit in December. So we went from the number 15 unit to the number 8 unit in Kansas in 1 month. So that's really exciting. But what I'm saying is, what I was starting to say is, I don't think any of us are where we want to be for February. And it's easy to go, oh my gosh, February is such a short month and we haven't accomplished a whole lot yet. I've seen, I think, 2 faces, which is not great. The weather is, I mean, I don't even want to go there. This is why I want to live in California or Florida or somewhere else. But let's just be grateful we don't live in Minnesota or North Dakota, right? It's all in perspective. So it's easy to get into the, like, it's already the 6th and we're behind and yada, yada, yada. However, that mentality is not going to get us further ahead. It's just going to give us paralysis, I think, you know, speaking from personal experience. So I don't know, was it yesterday or the day before, I found myself just feeling really anxious and kind of in a stress mode. And so I know to listen to my body when I'm having the feel like the weight on my chest, or the heart is racing a little bit, or I'm just super irritable and like everything's setting me off. I'm like, okay, I right now am not relying on the Lord. I'm trying to work in Kendry's strength, which is not ever going to be that great. Like, why would I work in my own strength when I have access to the Holy Spirit and to his abilities through me? So my first message to you tonight is, if you find yourself in that space, let's take a deep breath. Let's do it together. We're probably gonna need to do more than one, but for now, we'll take one deep breath and and go, okay, what do we need to focus on? Not what we haven't accomplished or what we can't do given our circumstances, our schedule, our you know, time constraints, the people who are not responding to our freaking text messages, who won't answer their phone. Okay, right? Not focusing on what's not happening, but what can I do next? And even if it's something really minimal, also, what is one scary thing that you can do every day? I've been talking to a couple of you. I'm going to brag on Ashley for a second. We were together on Monday and doing some work, and we were at a place where there were a couple of people working there, and I said, so have you talked to those girls before? Because we meet regularly at this place. And she's like, no. And I was like, so what would you think about going and worm chatting them? And she's like, I think that sounds horrible, but okay. She was awesome. So anyway, the long and the short of it is, we practiced a little, you know, what's she gonna say? And she went over and talked to them, got their names and numbers, and they're coming to meeting next week, right? Yeah? Okay, so sometimes it works out that way and it's like, yay, I did it. And it was a great response. And sometimes you're going to do that very brave thing and they're going to say they're not interested or they're already have a consultant or whatever. So it's not that it's always going to work out to be a booking or a yes. But Ashley, how did it feel to do the thing that you didn't feel like doing and just go and do it?
It made me feel like I could keep doing it. Like it was like really built my belief and was like, that wasn't that hard. So yeah.
How did you feel before you talked to them? What was going on in your brain and in your physical self? Like, was your heart racing? Or not really?
A little bit, yes, because like it helped that I practiced a little bit and like I knew what I was going to say before I went and talked to them. But even then I was like, they're going to think I'm stupid. They're like, this is ridiculous. They're both really cute and they're young. Like they're going to be like, Mary Kay, what? That's for my grandma, and like all of those things. But I just asked them anyway, and they were very nice.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And so does that make the rest of you feel a little bit better that even somebody as polished and smart and experienced as Ashley Clark still, has some of those thoughts and feelings? I do too. I don't love warm chatting either. But the feeling of accomplishment, and just like Ashley said, it wasn't that bad. Like it was worse leading up to it. And that's the thing. We build ourselves up into this, like, how horrible it's going to be, when if we just, even if it doesn't turn out well, we can say, well, at least I was brave and I did it. So maybe your thing that you want to tweak a little bit is just doing something that scares you every day. It doesn't have to be warm chatting. Maybe it's reaching out to somebody that you're really not sure how they're going to respond. Because isn't that the thing? It's the uncertainty. Like we don't know how they're going to respond. And so the good news is that you never die afterwards. You actually don't keel over or anything like that. I have to bring this in. I'm going to post the WOW notes for today, because I did put that together. And as I was putting together the fun facts, I'm sure I should not be laughing about this. I'm sure it's very devastating to have this actual illness, but there is a disorder, something called Cotard's delusion, and people who suffer from this believe either that they're dead and rotting or that they are losing body parts, and so they like are afraid to eat because they think they don't have a digestive tract, or they don't want to take a shower because they're afraid the water will wash away parts of their body. And I'm sure this is very horrible for somebody that experiences it, but I just had to say, none of us are experiencing that, right? So it could always be worse, right? Okay, moving on. I want to tell you a story because really all of our business originally, like if you go back to basics, it comes down to leads and booking, right? And so I watched Meg Prothro do a training last night, and some of you saw this because you're on the Tuesday night meeting Facebook page, which is Jill's meeting night, and it's Sherry meets on that night, as well as, who else is there? Chelsea goes to that meeting. Anyway, so they canceled their meeting because of weather last night too, and Meg did a training. And she talked about the statistic, which I'm sure you guys have heard, that very few sales are made on the first contact or the first attempt. Well, that's fun. I just got a little notification that we've removed the 40-minute time limit for my meeting. Great, thank you. Hopefully I'm not going to keep you much longer, but that's nice. Meeting now has unlimited minutes. We could be here all night long. Just kidding. Okay, so very few sales are made on the first attempt. It's like 2%. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. Okay, and when we say sales, sometimes that is, reaching out to somebody for an actual sale of the product, but more in our context, context, it is booking an appointment, is kind of like making a sale, right? It leads to a sale. And so I want to tell you this story about somebody that I have been working with. I originally met her before I was in Mary Kay, but about 2.5 years ago, so like June of 2016, I happened to run into her at an event. And I didn't even remember how I had met her, but we recognized each other, and I was like, oh my gosh, because we were Facebook friends. You know, what's up? How are you? Whatever. So after that, I reached out to her and I said, hey, it was so great to run into you. We should get together at my studio sometime for a facial. I'd love to show you my space. That was kind of my message back in June of 2016. And she responded with, well, sure, I'd love to. And then we've been trying ever since to get together. You guys, I'm telling you, it is the craziest thing. So I messaged her, you know, a few times on Facebook back then, 2.5 years ago. And she really didn't respond, we kind of planned something and then it fell through and she had to cancel and then we never rescheduled and whatever. So fast forward to last August, I'm like, I'm going to reach out to her again. And I did. We have been trying to set a date ever since. I'm telling you, I have asked her to come to the studio. I've said, do you have daytime flexibility? I've said, I will come to you. And she keeps telling me, I need help with my brows, I want to come, etc. So she's not telling me no, she's just saying she can't come to anything that I'm suggesting. And so eventually she had given me her phone number, so we've been texting for since August. And I'll every so often, like every few weeks, I'll be like, hey, does this date work? And she'll be like, no, I can't do that. What about this? I'm out of town, I'm in San Diego. What about this? That didn't work. Then we have weather, whatever. Anyway, the long and the short of it is she is finally coming to meeting next Wednesday. But I'm telling you guys, I bet I've asked her to 30 things. So what I want you to know from that is some people are blowing you off. Most people, however, are super busy and you have to be persistent. I also want to tell you about a couple of the 2 faces that I've done so far this month, because I just want you to get it. I'm hoping this will trigger something for you of people in your life that maybe fit into these contexts. Okay. So this one girl, Elisa is her name. She is not Andrea's daughter, Elisa. Don't worry, Andrea, I'm not stealing your daughter. This is the customer I was just telling you about, potential customer. She's somebody I knew from, I think I originally met her, believe it or not, when I was chefing and I did an event for a nonprofit, and I like fell in love with her because when you guys meet her, you'll be like, oh my gosh, no wonder Kendria was so persistent with her. She's like super classy, very professional, like almost intimidating kind of person. So she's somebody I knew prior to Mary Kay that I've never facialed. So this has been years. The girl I facialed today, which I was so excited that she didn't cancel her appointment even though we had the weather, is a Rodan & Fields consultant. She's been my customer for a while, probably a couple of years. But I think it's like her mother-in-law or her sister-in-law started Rodan & Fields, and so she signed up and she's using all the skincare and whatever. But she came and spent about $100 today on, she got a couple of the new products. You guys, when you get to try them and demo them, they sell themselves so well. I love the lip tints and the illuminating drops. So she bought that. She bought some mascara and, color stuff, basically, foundation, primer, whatever. So that's her. So who do you know who maybe does another business, even a skincare business? They could still be your customer. And then the other person I facialed yesterday used to be a consultant, and I have stayed in touch with her, but she is somebody that came from somebody who's not in Mary Kay anymore. And here's the other message I want you to remember today, that if you stay the course and if you continue working your business, you will benefit and reap the rewards of the work that other people have done. because you have outlasted them. And, you know, some people are in Mary Kay for a season, and that's okay. There is no, you know, I always say it's better to have some time in Mary Kay than no time at all. But just think of all the people who have some experience with the product, who have heard about the company from somebody else who's planted seeds, that you are going to get a chance to harvest because you are still here. You know, a month later, 3 months later, 5 years later, 20 years later, the work that somebody else has done, you get to reap the rewards and the benefits of that. And when you're tempted to say, this is too hard, I'm tired of rejection, how come I can't seem to get ahead or get to where I want to go? Part of the blessing and the benefit is the seeds that you're sowing and the seeds that other people have sown in the past. They come to harvest at varying times. And if you're not still around, somebody else is going to get that harvest and that reward. And I want it to be you. I want it to be you. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to wrap up with this. And this is, again, not a new concept, but one that we sometimes forget. And that is to throw money where you don't feel confident. And when I say money, I usually mean free product in that sense. Incentivize would be another way to say it. Incentivize the areas where you don't feel confident. And so if that's asking for referrals, if it's booking from your bookings, if it's talking to strangers, have those props, those crutches, those bribes, if you will. And I even use that verbiage sometimes, like, so I need to bribe you to do blah, 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 to refer some people to me, to bring a friend with you on Wednesday night. What's on your wish list? Or I'm going to bribe you to bring a couple people with you so that I can earn this cruise. So I will have a free mascara for you. I will have a half-price item for you, etc. Now, you can't do that with everything, and you have to insert humor in there so that you don't sound desperate. But people do respond to incentives, and they do respond to helping you and to being part of your goal. And so let's just talk about this cruise in every conversation that we have. Let's talk about what's in it for them at the same time, and just go out there and do a little bit more than maybe what we've been doing. Here's where we get tripped up. We think that it's going to take 50% more effort, 50% more time, 50% more skill or confidence or ability, when really if you had 5% more confidence, you gave 5% more time, you spent 5% less time thinking about what you're going to do and actually executing it. You guys, I'm talking to myself right here too. If I were doing 5% better in one area in February, what could that do for your business? So let's take that into consideration as we're making our goals and our plans, that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be we only talk to people one time. It doesn't have to be we filter everybody out because they're too busy, they're too scary, they're too successful, they're going to say mean things to us, they probably don't need Mary Kay, and all of the other crappy excuses that we put out there for why we're not going to impact somebody's life. If you'll remember, our job is to ask and offer, to love on people, and to stay plugged in. So I'm going to wrap up on that note. Does anybody else want to comment, ask a question, or add anything else before we wrap up the Zoom tonight? I love you guys very much. Those of you who are on live, those of you who are going to watch the playback, I love all your kisses. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being on with me tonight. And it is only 7:40, so yay, we stayed on time. And so this is a perfect time to catch people at home. Everybody's snuggled in. No, if they live in this area, nobody's going anywhere. Everybody's thinking, oh, I have some extra time tomorrow because there's no conferences and no school and blah, blah, blah. So all the people are going to be reachable, and you can do this. We can end up with lots of bookings just from reaching out to the person that we've been trying to get a hold of and nail down for a date, or we have been afraid to talk to. So let's go and do that. And I'm going to turn off the record, and we're all going to be all done for tonight. Thanks for being on, you guys. Love you all very, very much. Have a great night.